what is characterization? It's fleshing out the nature and appearance of a character. Even if they're not part of the main cast, you can kind of tell there's a story that's happening in the background, long before and after you see them. So let's see how one small appearance made me interested in seeing more. So, of course, in UA High School, there are the hero core students of Class 1A, but there's also their rivals in Class 1B. Based on their quirks and personality, there's Copycat, Purple Man, Soccer Popper, Metal Guy, and Green Thorny Haired Religious Girl, without knowing their names. She had the least amount of screen time, but just as memorable as the other ones for me. How and why, you ask? Just great storytelling, showing and not telling much. A great way to create a character is by starting with their design or physical traits. Off the bat, you see Shiozaki has green vine-like hair with thorns, braided in a way to make it look like a crown of thorns, if that sounds familiar. She has a very stoic demeanor. Shiozaki's personality is graceful, courteous, and you can see she has a robust moral code, not one for deceit or trickery or even being referred to as an assassin-like character. And she's religious. Although not the normal Shinto or Buddhist follower you'll find in anime, she's a Christian. So far not as common or at least shown within the cast of My Hero Academia. Her actions show that she's a pacifist who tries to bind or subdue her enemies with as little violence as possible. Her ability allows her to be flexible, to defend and counter, but she could do some severe damage if she chose to. It seems her being devoutly religious, she would rather seek peace than violence. Through her physical characteristics, her personality, and actions, you get to see a bit of her character. That's how you make a memorable character, whether a protagonist or a smaller role. You give them a clear and evident personality. The more against the grain, the better. That way you can have them bounce off and interact with other characters. You also give them familiar quirks to remind the audience of real people or other characters that they may be familiar with. Art often imitates life and vice versa. This gives the sense of a more in-depth backstory. So with Shiozaki, you have a devout Christian in Japan with religious themes to her attacks, her mannerisms, and appearance. Aiming to become a hero, she may have to balance defeating enemies with as little violence as possible. So there's a lot of story potential there. She might be just as interesting as some of the main characters. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not surprised because apparently she was originally supposed to be in Class 1A. So even with such little screen time, I still remembered the green vine girl from the tournament arc, wondering what she's up to. How about you?